Inside the AHSAA, your weekly look at Alabama prep athletics. Brought to you by Russell Athletic, Wilson, Team IP, Cadence Bank, Coca-Cola, Encore Rehabilitation, Farmers Insurance, and AL.com.
Welcome to the Alabama High School Athletic Association Weekly Update, heard exclusively on the Alabama High School Athletic Association Radio Network. I am Randy Lee, and I bring news from this week's top stories from the AHSAA.
The biggest single volleyball competition event in the AHSAA state history gets underway Friday and Saturday at Huntsville and Montgomery as 96 schools battle at each site in the first ever Super Regional tournaments. The North Super Regional will be played at the Von Braun Center, and the South Super Regional is set for the multiplex at Crampton Bowl. 8 schools from each of the AHSAA's 6 classifications will be competing at each site, a total of 192 teams. The champion, runner-up, 3rd and 4th place finishers will advance to next week's Elite 8 state tournament in Birmingham. The Elite 8 will be played for the first time at the Birmingham Metro Crossplex, which was the site of the AHSAA Indoor Track and Field Championships last February and will host the event once again in 2013. The Super Regional tournaments are certainly raising the bar for girls volleyball in Alabama, said AHSAA Executive Director Steve Savarese. The excitement we have already seen in the past state tournaments will now be experienced by many more schools. The regional basketball and softball tournament concepts are very popular, and we think the Super Regional volleyball tournaments will be an outstanding life memory-making event for our student athletes as well. Play gets underway at both sites at 9 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Championship and consolation finals are set for 6 p.m. in all classes on Saturday night. The South Super Regional will have 2011 defending champions Donahoe in 1A, Providence Christian in 2A, Bayside Academy in 3A, and St. Paul's in 5A competing at the multiplex. Defending champions Gunnersville in 4A and Huntsville in 6A will be in the field at the Von Braun Center. Coaching Walker High School in the Class 5A tourney at Huntsville is Glenda Wright, the state's all-time winningest coach with more than 1,350 wins. Leading St. Luke's in the Class 1A tourney at Montgomery is Tammy Richardson, the coach with the second most career wins with 1,282. Check out the Super Regionals this weekend. You'll then want to go to Birmingham next week for the Elite 8 state tournament.
Stay tuned for more of Inside the AHSAA right after this.
J.B. Pennington High School's Tigers dropped a hard-fought 55-28 decision to Geraldine last Friday in a loss that now puts the Tigers' backs to the wall heading into this week's playoff deciding game at Bluntsville against New Hope. Coach Keith Garner and his squad are energized, however. Passing tandem evolved in the setback that could have Pennington followers jumping out of their seats for the next 2 seasons. Sophomore quarterback Brandon Butts was 28 of 38 passing for a school record 404 yards and 4 touchdowns. His favorite target was sophomore receiver Blake Harris, who had 11 receptions for 202 yards and 1 TD. He also caught 2 two-point conversions. The duo grabbed this week's AHSAA Prep Spotlight. However, both will need to be at their best this week as Pennington and New Hope battle for the 4th spot remaining in the playoffs in Class 3A Region 6. Geraldine, at 6-2, has clinched the region title with a road game remaining this week with Pisgah. Plainville, 7-1, has captured the 2nd seed with a game remaining at Holly Pond. And Sylvania, at 6-2, has the 3rd spot with a road game this week at Brindley Mountain. New Hope at 5-3 and Pennington at 3-5 are both 3-3 in region play, meaning the winner advances to the playoffs, while the loser packs up to wait for the 2013 season. Only a handful of regions have all playoff spots decided heading into Week 9. That leaves more than 40 regions still with multiple teams vying for playoff berths that will be decided by the outcomes of this week's games. Class 1A Region 1, Linden, St. Luke's, McIntosh, and Fruitdale has its 4 qualifiers already. The order of the final 2 spots are still up for grabs, however. A Fruitdale win over region champion Linden could move them to 3rd. A loss would give McIntosh 3rd and Fruitdale 4th. And on a sad note, one of the AHSA's most outstanding contest officials, Max Wilkes of Phoenix City, died last week at the age of 73 after suffering an aneurysm. Mr. Wilkes, also a city councilman in Phoenix City, was the AHSAA's state softball rules interpreter and coordinated officials for the AHSAA state softball tournament. He spent most of his adult life involved in officiating. Our prayers go out to his family. Max will be sorely missed. Be sure to follow the AHSAA News on Twitter at AHSAA Updates.
That's going to do it for this week. Make sure to tune in next week for Inside the AHSAA.